I published this article 2 weeks ago and people did not like it. So let's discuss it with a cup of tea. It's all about career peaks, ageism, and the case for knowing when to step back. And I wrote this article in response to somebody's LinkedIn post. Basically, this lady commented that as a 58 years old woman, I have been told by a headhunter that I was too old, that I should expect lower level roles and reduced pay simply because of my age. My response was simple. Just because my biology has shifted does not mean my brain has stopped working. My response to it was also simple. Whilst I'm sure that her brain hasn't stopped working, I am also sure that it is not at its peak. So expecting a salary and a role that she was earning while at her peak, maybe it's not so fair. But let's not run away with things. In life, we are very good at looking at everything through the lens of a bell curve. Life, we are born, we grow, we peak, and we decline. Even athletes, they train, reach maximum output, then retire as a coach. Even love, first it's dizzying, then it stabilizes, and sometimes it even fades away. Yet there is this domain where we refuse to follow the bell curve, which is our career. We act as if it's a straight upward line. More knowledge, more expertise, more leadership capacity, more pay every single year until we retire. But that's not what the data tells us. So, creativity and scientific breakthroughs tend to peak in the late 30s and early 40s. Productivity in academia grows strongly until about 40s, slows in the 40s, and stabilizes after 50. But the impact of research tends to decline steadily with age. Cognitive performance follows the curve as well. Numeracy peaks around 40, literacy around 45. Earnings hit their maximum at 44 for women and 55 for men, with wages plateauing or falling after. Research shows productivity rises for 20 years, then inevitably declines. Pay data shows companies paying senior employees more than they produce relative to younger colleagues. Now, I could go on with data, but you get the gist of it. Now, of course, we have data that goes against these as well. But in other words, professional peak by almost every measure lies between 40 and 55. So the question is, what do I do when the curve begins to bend? So I looked at psychology, specifically Erikson's theory of 8 stages of psychosocial development. And this is the time when we enter this age. And Erikson proposed that people during this age, no, not midlife crisis, but during this age tend to go into 2 different directions. One is the generativity state and the other is stagnation. The first one is all about the focus on the greater good and the well-being of future generations. All our accomplishment at this stage should be aimed at helping to make the world a better place rather than at simply lining our pockets or seeking hedonistic pleasures. Stagnation refers to the failure to find a way to contribute. Stagnant individuals may feel disconnected or uninvolved with their community or with society as a whole. Those who fail to attain a generativity skill feel unproductive in and uninvolved with the world. This is when we start talking about midlife crisis. But the message here really is that we are transitioning into a different stage of our life and career. We enter this tail and there is no going back. So perhaps the smarter move is to embrace the curve instead of crying on LinkedIn and calling everybody ageist and biased. We need to stop pretending that career peaks don't exist. They do. Ignoring them doesn't make us wiser. It creates denial for the individual and stagnation for organizations. Ageism is only unfair when it discounts real skills, but it's not unfair when it predicts the predictable natural decline. Maybe it's time that corporate career planning started to acknowledge that and build organizations around that, allowing the older generation to step back and take up a role of mentor, coach, and guidance, advisory role, really. Because the next generation need them. So it's not that they don't have value anymore, their value shifts. And I just don't understand why we see that as a bad thing.